Shalom, Kohalo Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kakodash. Double homage to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. The brother Yahshua back with the WW3 Daily update. I'm going to start right here. All right. This is Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations, whose I, the one that the world ignorantly calls God, whose name is Yahweh, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, God in the name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. All right. The land of the Most High's judgment. All right. Shapatyam. All right. And let's read this in the NLT right here. Okay. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Why? There will I judge them for harming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations, and for dividing up my land. So this is an ambush. Okay? God, if you will, is setting up an ambush. He's going to get all the armies of the world into one place. Right? Then what is he going to do? He's going to shoot lasers on them. Okay? Got to bring up my visual aids. Right? He can get them all together in one place. And then what he's going to do, he's going to feather cause his mighty ones to come down. His army. Okay? These angels, right? These are the angels in these craft. Swing low, sweet chariot. Okay? She'll be coming around the mountain. This is a great mountain. Yahushua's chariot is so big it looks like a huge mountain. Okay? And what are they going to do? They're going to use their weapon systems against these weapon systems that are inferior to God, of course. How is it that a plane, which can only fly straight, yeah, you can yank it and you can bank it, but what the hell does that mean to this that could hit a right angle, that could disappear with superior firepower? They're going to make quick work of this. What is World War III for? Gathering all of Satan's angels, blue angels. This is the dragon and his blue angels. All right? We've got to get them all in one place. Similar to what Moses did. Okay, there you got the chariots of the Lord. The chariots of Israel. Right there. Parting the Red Sea, whatever it was. Okay, the Reed Sea, the Red Sea, whatever you want to call it. Right? This is an ambush. This is the strike zone. The kill zone. Right? You lead them. They got Moses to take these people, right, through the strike. This was the bait. The children of Israel were the bait, okay, if you will. And then Pharaoh and his army and their chariots walked right into the trap. Well, it's the same thing right here, all right? We can gather them all into the valley of Jehoshaphat. I will gather all the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. There will I judge them for harming my people. Well, what did the Most High Yahweh, what did he do with Pharaoh? He said, let my people go. They refused. He led them into the kill zone. For what? For harming his people. Same thing. All right. What is this? What's that doing? What's that doing there? Let's find out. Let's see. You see this word cloud? This is Exodus 13. Let me see. Let's go to the text. 13 and what? 21? Exodus 13:21. What does 20 say? Let's start right here. And let's get this out. All right. And it came to pass, can't do it at the same time, when Pharaoh had let the people go, Israelites, that God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, led them through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near, for God said, lest peradventure the people repent when they see war. What? War. The Most High, the ultimate warrior, was warring with Pharaoh and his army. And they returned to Egypt. But God led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up, harnessed out of the land of Egypt. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn to the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. And they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham and in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. And he took not away the pillar of cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. Back to this. And here's the pillar of cloud by day. And it was probably a long cylindrical, what they call a cigar-shaped chariot. Nonetheless, the chariot was there. This is the pillar of cloud. What do you mean, the cloud? Is Jesus not coming back in the clouds? What's this? Swing low, sweet chariot. Ninja. Psalm 104. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord, my power, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot. A pillar of cloud by day. A pillar of cloud by day. Not this thing, this thing. This thing can cloak itself in the clouds. It can change its shape. It can metamorphosize. All right? But the pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of cloud by night, fire by night, to light the way, it's talking about this, the chariot. Okay? Now let's further expound upon that, because clouds don't stand up and fight. All right? Do they? I don't know where it is. Okay, hold on. Slovakia. 21. Let me get this. Exodus 14 and 9. Let's go to the text here. 14 14, 19. Let's see. Let's start at 19. Let's start right here. Wow, let's start right here at 17. And behold, who's I? The Most High. And behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. What do you mean follow? Follow them right into the kill zone. Okay? And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh and upon all his host. Host means armies. Upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the angel of God, this thing, which went before the camp of Israel, removed. Okay, first it's the angel of God. Removed and went behind them. And the pillar of cloud went from before their face and stood behind. Right now, this chariot, the chariots of Israel, are fighting for the Israelites. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all night. The chariot was pulling guard. Okay? This is war. All right? These are the war chariots of the Most High. His people are the Israelites, the ground troops, if you will. And this chariot is dealing with the water, is dealing with the air. That's your Navy and your Air Force. All right? Now, this was about delivering the children of Israel, right, out of bondage, out of the hands of their enemies. Well, when this war in heaven goes down, it's the same thing. All right? This is war. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his blue angels. Where's the blue angels at? Where's the blue angels? Well, here's the blue angels right here. Okay? We all know what it is. So, this cloud, right? The pillar of cloud is talking about the chariots of Israel. Now, let's examine the weapon systems on these things, because, of course, the devil tries to duplicate what the Most High does, because he gave him a little firepower, but not enough to hang. All right? So, let's start at the top. This is 2nd Ezra 13:1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that had moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man, who's that man? That's Yahweh Shai, the Son of God, waxed strong. What does it mean to wax strong? It means you got that firepower. He's waxing strong with the thousands of heaven. Who's the thousands of heaven? The angels. That great army in heaven. The saints that are marching. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. Under him, well, he's up in the air. All right? And whensoever the voice, what's the voice? Went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. Like as the earth faileth when it feeleth what? The fire. So his voice is being spoken of here. That's them lasers. That's the weapon systems, right? Of that ship. That spaceship. Okay? And after this, I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together. This is talking about World War III. The Most High is gathering the armies of the world into the valley of Joseph. Lo, there was gathered together, World War III, a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the men. So these idiots are going to try to fight against God and the angels, against Jesus and the angels, so that you understand. Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and the angels, this man is going to try to fight against them with the Space Force, with these raggedy F-18s, F-35, whatever the hell they are. They're going to try to go heads up with these. So let's find out what happens. All right. It says, to subdue the men that came out of the sea. Let's quickly go to Revelation 19. Read the same story. And I saw the beast, Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies. What were they? Gathered together. World War III. God gathered them together in the valley of Jehoshaphat to run that ambush on their ass. They don't even know it. They were gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Whose army? The one that sat on the horse. Who's the one that sat on the horse? Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. Okay. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness doth he judge and what? Make war. Okay. Jump down to 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses. Okay. Clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth what? A sharp sword. That's them lasers. That with it he should smite the nations. Okay. Stop right there. All right. Okay, so this is World War III. And in the middle of World War III, in come the chariots. The armies of the world, and their armies, the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together. World War III. All right, let's go back here. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the men that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself of what? A great mountain, and flew up upon it. He flew up upon it. Okay? She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. He had graved himself a great mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain, Wikipedia. The original song was published in Old Plantation Hymns in 1899. It ostensibly refers to the second coming of Christ and subsequent rapture, with the she referring to the chariot that the returning Christ is depicted as driving. Boom. We could do this all day. Let's look at the weapon systems. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great coming around the mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or the place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld it, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Now the weapon systems. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been, a blast of fire, some lasers, and out of his lips a flaming breath. And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which was prepared to fight, gathered together, and burned them up every one. So that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing Nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. They got smoked. All the armies of the world fell into the trap. When I saw this, I was afraid. They fell into the ambush. Okay? That's what happened. All right? Let's quickly take a look right here at Joel. I'll show you where they come in at. All right? Start at 9, Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come. Why? Setting up that ambush. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. World War III. Then what happened? Then this happens. Thither, then cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Who are the mighty ones? The angels. That's where they jump into the fray. They come out of the fourth dimension and start burning people up with them laser beams. And yeah, they got some laser beams here too, but not on this level. Yeah, they can fly, they can cloak, but not on this level. All right? So what we see now, let the heathen be weak and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen. He's going to smoke them in an ambush. That's what World War III is about. World War III is about, I will gather all nations, bring them down in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, from whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Let's go to NLT and read this. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. There will I judge them for harming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations and dividing up my land. They threw dice to decide which of my people would be their, what's this? Inwards. Is not this word right here synonymous with ninja? Slaves. We could get into it. Why is World War III happening? Why? Because it's an ambush. The Most High is going to take down all the militaries of the world first, right before he subdues all the nations and puts them under subjection. Look up that word, subjection. A king must have subjects, must he not? It's time for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to rule this earth. How's he going to do it? He's going to take away all the firepower of all the armies first and have them destroy each other with nuclear. After all the armies are subdued and turned into smoke, all they're going to have left is their nuclear football. And they're going to use that nuclear option to kill each other. They're going to be mad. What happened? That wasn't the plan. The plan was the NWO. What the hell happened? Well, the Most High hardens your heart, right? Because your true goal is to kill the children of Israel. All right? We know that. We know you have a plan. We can go right here to Psalm 83 real quick. All right? We know about your plan. Don't you hear the Psalm 83 and 2? Don't you hear the uproar of your enemies? Don't you see that your arrogant enemies are rising up? They devise crafty schemes against your people. Who is his people? Israel. They conspire against your precious one. You want to wipe us out. Come, they say, let us wipe out Israel as a. That's what you really want to do. But what is the Most High doing? He's going to deliver us. All right? All right? Yes, this was their unanimous decision. They signed a treaty as allies against you. We know what you're up to, you devils. You're not going to win. You're going to be, well, first you're going to be turned into smoke. Then you're going to be subdued, and you're going to go to work building up the kingdom of heaven. Like you had us build treasure cities in Egypt and America. All right? Now it's your turn to play that role. All right, so let's go here. Let's look at some of this inferior firepower. This is a Deep Journal channel. One day ago, breaking U.S. Navy fires what? Laser weapon against Iranian. But so you have some little, look at this 144 right there. You have some little firepower too, but it's not on the scale of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So let's watch this. Of course, there's a damn commercial. So lock it.
Dear listeners, welcome to the Deep Journal channel. By subscribing to our channel, you can be informed about detailed reports every time. The conflict between the Iranian-backed militants and Yemen in the Red Sea continues to escalate. There are new attacks against Iran-backed militants against the U.S. and the Arab League, which support Yemen.
Now, this is all the armies of the world being gathered together in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, right into the strike zone, the kill zone of the ambush.
The U.S. firing laser weapons against Iranian-backed militants in the region today drew great attention.
It's going to be a laser firing war. Whose lasers are more powerful?
We'll go into all the details of this next-gen attack in a moment. It is stated that the laser weapon used against the bomb-laden unmanned aerial vehicles deployed by the Iranian-backed militants against Yemen was used for the first time in the Middle East and destroyed a target. At the same time, Arab coalition planes launched airstrikes on Iranian-backed militants in Marib on the west coast, killing 165 Iranian militants. The shooting of Iranian militants by both the U.S. and Arab troops, which has attracted attention due to the increasing terrorist incidents in the region in recent days, has been compared to the shooting of Iranian-backed militants in Syria by Israel. Iranian-backed militants continue to receive heavy blows from the countries of the region with their brutal attitudes and actions in the Middle East in recent days. At the same time, the lack of middle ground in the talks in Vienna and Iran's failure to sign the nuclear agreements bothers Washington. Washington now appears to be drawing some red lines against Iran. There are many different ways to do this, but the next week is expected to be quiet and the U.S. will give Iran one last chance.
All right. Enough of that. So, what shall we do? How do we get out? Let's go to Revelation 11. Start at 14. Revelation 11:14, the second terror. Let's get KJV. The second woe, Second World War, is past. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right? And what's going to happen? After these armies get turned into smoke, they're going to be mad. They're going to launch their nukes at each other. They're going to be mad at each other because their plan didn't come to fruition. All right? And what's going to happen before those nukes hit? We're going to be delivered. Remember that cloud? Remember that cloud? Remember these clouds? That one? This one? Let's see how we're getting up out of here. What does it mean to be saved? Revelation 11 and 12, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, who's them? The elect of Israel. Come up hither. What it means to be saved. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. Right before them nukes destroy the world as we know it. They ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Now here's the destruction. Saved from what? Saved from this. In the same hour was there a great earthquake. That's the nukes. And the 10th part of the city, all 10 FEMA regions in Babylon the Great, the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. 7 represents completion. So that means if you didn't get beamed up, you got burned up. And the remnant were, for who's the remnant? Those that were beamed up. They ascended up to heaven and they got beamed up into a spaceship. All right? And the remnant were affrighted. They were scared that they was going to die a horrible death. But no, they had put on the elect, they had repented and did that which was pleasing to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So he saved them from that impending doom and glory, and gave glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua of heaven. All right? Hey, the third woe cometh quickly. There's your World War III and why. All right, we'll go into why in great detail next week. This has been the World War III Daily Update for this week. For today, we'll have it again on Monday. So with that, we hope the elect are edified. And with that, we're going to say shalom.